statistics about homelessness in the U.S. As you can see in map 1, California scored the highest. And in map 4 shows California, again, is still the highest. And with Nevada following right after, and then Michigan and Georgia.
What's the difference between map 1 and 2 and 4? Is it like years or?
No, it just kind of goes. This one just shows that California is the highest, and then.
This is like all homelessness by state. So
this
like,
is actually map 4 is unsheltered.
And then map 4 is unsheltered homeless, so people that aren't like in a shelter or. So like California in the map 4 has 70% of the homeless population is not sheltered. Whereas in other states they have, like New York, like they showed in the video, has a lot more shelter.
So in January of 2008, the Regional Task Force of the Homeless, did a count, and they found that 7,582 persons were on the streets. But this doesn't include people who were living in friends' or families' houses, who were unseen, or who were living in cars or vans. So that kind of goes to show that a lot of people were not counted for. So there are more people out there that just weren't included in this one study. And so 2/3 of the population are male, 3/5 are white, 1/5 are African American, which they are disproportionately represented. 1/4 are Latino, 17% are veterans, and you can see, like, just based on these statistics, like the majority of the people are living on streets, opposed to transitional housing or emergency shelters. And San Diego sheltered homeless are significantly less than the national average. So, kind of based on our prior slide, there are a lot of stressors that people deal with, and shelters is one of them, and not to mention like all these other stressors that we have up here, and that's what we're gonna address now. So
we're just gonna have like an open conversation between us four up here now.
So one of our first questions was, as we've talked about before, there's a lot of stressors that you guys deal and dealt with, and what things are the most stressful?
Remembering your name right now is not easy. Actually, one of the main stress things that you have to deal with is you have to deal with the police, number one. Like it shows in there, you know, it says so many people that are unseen, and that's exactly what the police don't want us to be, is seen. Okay. Everywhere that we go, the police will tell you to come up. Well, you're not really doing anything wrong, but they don't want you out in the public's view. Okay. That's pretty much, they come right out and say, well, where are we supposed to go? And they said, well, someplace that you're not going to be seen. And that's pretty much the way they want it and everything there. Stress, you have to worry about people, you know, a lot of us live out of shopping carts or little granny, we call them little push baskets and everything, and that's what a lot of us, that's all we have to our names. So we're, in a way, we're sort of protective of the little few things that we do have. And one of the stressful things is trying to get a decent night's sleep, but still have one eye open so you can hear if anybody's going up to where your possessions are in your cart that'll take something. Or what we call drive-bys, or when people drop by off food or clothes or, you know, things of that nature, and we set them next to us. Well, a lot of times we'll wake up in the morning and those will be gone, your food will be gone, even your shoes that you took off during the night will be gone and stuff there. So you never get the REM sleep that you really, really need and everything there. You can never get into that nice relaxation state of getting your mind to be able to relax, because you can't let your mind relax. And having to be up at the clock, you know, at a certain time in the morning, you have to have your things packed up and everything else there. Because a lot of people go, you're homeless, what do you really need to stress about? What is there to stress about? Well, you stress about, like I said, the police, you have to stress about your belongings, you have to stress if you're going to be able to sleep in the area where you slept that night before, where you've probably gotten just a little bit accustomed to now. You feel a little bit more secure, but you have to worry if you're going to be able to get there that night again. Then you have to worry about people, like I said, coming up and, you know, with the drinking, the alcohol, and everything else around there. It's really, really hard. So you can't lay your stuff down until 9 o'clock at night. You have to be up bright and early, way before 6, and it puts a load of stress on you. It really does. People get very irate and very upset and stuff like that over minor little altercations and things there. It's because the stress level builds up. But, you know, like they keep saying, you know, they don't want us around and things there. And one of their major ploys, you know, with the police right now is if you cut off the food supply, you're going to cut off the animals going to feed. And that's pretty much what they've lumped us into. A lot of us hang out in certain places that we know if we can't get anything to eat that day, we're going to be able to get a church group or some other people that come by on a regular basis to help us out. And the police now are starting to issue those people tickets and harassing them because they're passing out food and they don't have the proper permits for it. And a lot of these are church groups that are out here doing this, and yet they're still getting tickets, which are $50 or more a pop, just for the permits alone for them to come out to give out food to us and everything there. So again, you cut off the food supply and everything, you're going to cut out the people congregating in that area because they know there's not going to be any more food or things. So they're going to wander into different areas and stuff there. So that's you know, a lot of the stress that we have to put up with and things there. They have things they call shopping cart raids, where the police will get tired of seeing all the shopping carts around, and they have a person that comes by in flatbed trucks, and no matter where you're at, you have to dump your belongings out of the shopping cart, and they'll take the shopping carts away. And if you don't want to give it up, well then it's a $250 fine, and you get another ticket for having stolen property. So that's the type of other things there. But fortunately for us, we have a gentleman out there, I don't know if you've heard of him at all, he's called Waterman Dave. And he's a good friend of mine and stuff. I've known David for a few years. And he's doing this out of the generosity of his heart, and all he's doing is coming out and bringing us water, bringing us a few snacks, and talking with us, you know, giving us a hug, giving us a handshake. And he's come up with the idea now where they have a program where they'll give out shopping carts to people now. And he takes your picture with him. And they have a chart on there that says this was donated for anybody that needs it here in San Diego County by the Isaiah Project, and they have a website which they do. And so therefore that's the last thing we have to worry about there as far as, you know, having our you know, our shopping carts taken away, which is how we get our belongings around and stuff there. So yeah, I mean, little things you take for granted, stuff like that, you know, traffic noise, people walking by constantly. Crackheads, I mean, all these druggies and stuff like that. You can't have a little bit of spot without 4, 5, 6 people during the night wanting to cram right up in there so they sit there and do their drugs or drink their alcohol and stuff there. So yeah, there's a lot of stress. A lot of stress involved that people just don't see.
Marvin's so true about that. He really nailed it. You know, it's like when I lived out there, I was just shuffling around. It's like the cop would come up and say, "What are you doing?" And I'm asleep. I'm more like, "What the hell does it look like I'm doing?" Okay, I'm sleeping. Well, you can't sleep here. Or where do you want me to go? Anywhere but here. And I'd be laying down at night and under a shelter, and it'd be raining, and I feel a tap on my foot, and it's again, "What are you doing?" I mean, I'm trying to sleep. Okay. Well, where do you want me to go? Anywhere but here. And then I know with your belongings, when I lived out there, several times until I found out I had to do it differently, I would leave my belongings over in the corner, hid, you know, away from out of sight, come back, and it'd be a cold night, and here's all my blankets, everything's gone. Now I'm sleeping out in the cold, got nowhere to sleep, and it just, I mean, for me too, you know, before I got on the streets, I had this other thing that would bother me. You know, before I got on the streets, I did like to stay clean, and I always had problems trying to get somewhere to take a shower. Try to use the restroom downtown somewhere. Just try to go in there and use the restroom. You know, the laundry facilities and taking a shower, trying to stay clean. It's just so many stress factors. And, you know, I think about what David said about the water guy. I know one time they tried to stop him from handing out water.
Yeah, he's been in the paper lately and stuff there. He's had some unfortunate incidents with police officers, and the police officers don't really like him too much anyway, because, again, he's out there helping us, okay? And he's been stabbed a few times trying to, he's an old Detroit guy there. And he said,